Hey everyone. So this is a little bit of a review, but we're also going to cover some things that are more challenging in terms of playing the recorder. We're going to combine some review with some new stuff and some challenging stuff. So if it seems simple at first, stick around because it's going to get harder. Um, and I'm going to play a little bit in a minute too. Okay. So just a review because I was making a video where I was doing a screenshot and I was showing some of the notes. So there's that B note, okay? The middle line of the treble. This is your treble clef. There's your B note. And that, I don't know how well you can see that on the camera, but we've got this is your thumb hole, and that's the first hole on top. So that's how you play your B. Looking down here, notice A. So if we go from the bottom, A is in the second space. So each line in each space of the treble clef, how many lines do we have? Well, we've got from the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and the spaces in between 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 5 lines, 4 spaces. Each line and each space represents a different note. So anytime you see a note in this second space here, 1, 2, from the bottom, that has to be an A, as if it's written in the treble clef. That is always going to be an A. Okay, this note here, treble clef, middle line, that is always B. It won't be any other note. That's why we have this way of reading notes, because it tells us what note we need to play. The third note that we learned in the treble clef to play on the recorder is G. Okay, G, notice we have the thumb hole, and our left hand is playing 1, 2, 3 holes on top. G is the second line from the bottom. Notice how I was saying in the other video, this fancy G, clef, treble clef, it curls in right here, and it kind of points to this line. It shows you the G line. And that's how we play it. Okay, that's as far. I'm going to move this back now. And hopefully you'll be able to see me, okay? All right, so here's my B note. This is my own recorder that somebody gave me. Honestly, it's not that great. It's a little bit lower quality than the ones that we have in class. And the one that I play, I have a different one. I just left it at the school. The other thing is, just a little thing, is that sometimes there's a letter here on the bottom by the thumb hole, because there are 2 different kinds of recorders, German and Baroque. There's also soprano and tenor and all that, but I'm not talking about that. German and Baroque. So the ones that we've been playing are Baroque, and those are the ones that I would suggest that we play, because the German one is slightly different. But the first 3 notes are the same, so that's okay. F is different, F and F sharp, but we'll get into that another time. So B. So here's B. My recorder seems out of line here. Now, when you're learning, and if sometimes we get these squeaks and stuff, you get your fingering, say you want to do a G note. So the more holes we have to cover, the more chance that we're not doing it right and some air is escaping somewhere. That might be one of the reasons why you get a squeak, right? If all you have to do is cover these 2 holes, well then, as long as you cover those 2, then you're probably going to get a nice sound. But now as I have to cover another hole, well then it's a little bit harder, because now there's another hole. Maybe I'm not covering one of all those 3 properly. There's my A note, right? I can look. I don't have to keep it in my mouth. If I want to inspect, how am I doing here? Because one thing I notice is maybe we get this B note, and then I've noticed sometimes, and then maybe you try and put this finger down, and then this one comes off a little bit. So try and keep those fingers there. It doesn't have to be a super tight grip, but try and keep it in the same spot. So you can practice moving those fingers, or moving this one, without moving that, trying to get that coordination. Maybe add the next one. You can take a look. You don't have to have your mouth on it. Get a feel for that. And you don't have to be with your fingertips like that. You can use the fleshy part of your finger. 1, 2, 3. And your thumb. What I notice is my thumb isn't always perfectly like that. In order for me to get this right, sometimes my thumb is kind of a little bit on an angle. It's not right in the middle of my thumb. And that's okay, because our thumbs are bigger and fatter and wider. So there's more meat on our finger, more flesh to cover that hole. So even if it's not, see how it's just, my thumb's kind of on an angle there. That's okay, because I'm still covering the hole. So that's my G. So you want to be able to play those 3 notes with a nice tone. So just practicing that if you have your recorder at home. G, A, B. The notes are getting higher. You can practice G, A, G, A. Thinking about 2, 2, 2, 2. How does your tongue move? That's what you're doing in between each note. See, I'm blowing, and then my tongue comes forward when I want to stop the air. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm using my tongue to come forward, like. You can try playing different rhythms just on one note. Maybe like Jingle Bells, or the beginning of the Squid Game theme, which is on a B, but we can do it on any note. Maybe try an A. Oh, see, this one squeaks a little bit more. Try it, a B note. Thinking of, like I said a minute ago, trying to keep those fingers. If you're only trying to move one finger, you have to work on that coordination. Just kind of building that awareness of, what am I doing? Is there anything I can do better? Reflecting on how it's going. How does the sound that I'm making? Could I do anything differently? Am I squeaking? Are my fingers covering the holes all the way? Am I blowing too hard? I just realized I'm still wearing this headset. I don't need to. So right, if we can play those 3 notes, we know hot cross buns. We also want to be able to practice going from G to B. So being able to lift up 2 fingers at the same time. This is for the song Pierrot. So say it starts off G, 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 A, B, A, G, B, A, G. Okay, so you can always remember, breaking things down into smaller bits is always a good idea. G, G, G. And you can pause this video at any time to try some of the things that I'm doing. Sorry. So that's the first part. I'm going G, 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 A, B, A. If you want to support it somehow, you could put your thumb underneath here. But like I said before, don't cover these holes, because that'll change it. You could don't hold it like this, because then you're not letting the air escape. That's where the air comes through. And that I actually didn't even think that would work at all, but it right? Don't do that. Don't cover those holes. If you need to, put your thumb underneath there. I guess that's okay. So that's the first phrase. Now I'm going to go from a G to a B. And I don't want to go one at a time. I want both up and down. So that's something you could just practice like that. Right? G to B. And then we go to an A. I'll do it again. You can go as slow as you need to. Here's the slow version if you're really trying to practice it slowly from the beginning. Okay, so slow, steady breaths. Don't blow too hard. Check out where your fingers are. Practice going from G to A, G, A, G, A, B, A, B, A, B. Try it once and then check and see how your notes sound. But also practice that G to B, lifting two fingers together at the same time. It might feel a little weird at first. What happens if I don't do it perfectly? Let's listen. I wanted to just go. That sounds kind of funny. Okay. Using your tongue, like we talked about, will help you so that there's a little bit of space. Just hold on. A little bit of space between one note and the next. And it allows you to not get that when you're changing the fingering to get a weird like sound. Low. See, because I'm blocking the air as I'm changing the fingering. Okay, so work on that one. That's Pierrot. And work on those fingering and those notes that we were talking about. Okay, good luck, guys.